Hello my loves, I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video and I'm so sorry. Life just got in the way in so many ways and this space had to take a backseat a bit, but I am so happy to be back and I plan to do a chatty get ready with me video just to catch you guys up on what I've been up to and the thought process behind this collection. So look out for that, and to start us off is this stunning lace curtain. The detail on this piece and this entire collection actually is what solely sold it for me. That I then paired with this beautiful textured curtain that came with a thick lining, making it such a win for me. That I then transformed to this stunning piece, which to be honest can easily pass as a custom wedding gown. This video is also quite long, so feel free to get comfortable with a cup of tea, wine, popcorn or whatever tickles your fancy, and let's get into the process. I began by undoing the folds on the lace curtain like so. I did the same for the curtain and took the lining apart after. Next, I used one of my dresses as a guide to cut out my bodice. I used the front bodice piece to trace the back piece and cut it open to have two pieces for zip installation. I then marked my darts on the three pieces like so and placed them aside. I spread the lace on fold and drew out my front bodice pattern, then cut it out. Next, I cut the top piece off diagonally. I then proceeded to draw dots on it. Next, I flipped it on fold with the wrong side up and traced the back piece using the textured curtain pieces. I then cut it in half and marked my darts. Next, I proceeded to sew them all down. I then cut off the excess pieces on the lace and did overlock for a clean finish. Next, I took the front textured bodice piece and did hemming around the top section with my favorite pattern stitch. I then placed it on the lace bodies with both right sides facing up and pinned them together, then proceeded to stitch them down. I then trimmed off the hanging lace pieces and placed the lace on top of the textured back pieces and sewed the top sections down before flipping them over to have right sides facing up and stitch the sides down. I then secured the top sections with my favorite pattern stitch. Next, I took the remaining textured cutting and traced a skirt pattern, which I then used to trace the back piece. I cut the back piece open to have two pieces. Next, I mark my darts on the three pieces and sew them in place. I then placed and matched the front skirt piece to the front bodies and sewed them in place. Next, I did the overlock for a polished finish. I did the exact thing for the back pieces and installed a hidden zip off camera. I changed my mind on the design here, so I used the front bodice to trace the back lace piece for one half of the back bodice. I hemmed the open side and attached it to the top of one half of the back bodice. And this is how it looked. I hope that made sense. I then went back and hemmed the front body's lace piece. Next, I joined the two dress pieces by the shoulder and trimmed off the excess hanging piece and did overlock and placed it aside. I took the remaining lace curtain and cut the top section off. Next, I folded it on the embroidered section and drew my arm pattern, then cut it out. I then pinned it on the bodice and stitched it in place, then did the overlock. Next, I hemmed the bottom sides of the arm piece. Thing to note here is this is best to be one's exact measurements to avoid bulging or making the overview look untidy, because this is lace, so see-through. I then measured 2.5 inches from the bottom and sew it down, then left about 1.5 inches gap for my thumb, then sew the rest of the arm down to the rest of the dress, but not going all the way down to the hem. Next, I took the remaining lace curtain piece and cut off the rest of the embroidered lace section and spread it out, then cut 30 inches. Next, I trimmed off the irregular sides, ensuring to cut along the embroidered section, and placed it aside. I then took the other strip and cut it in half and took each half, then cut along the embroidered section and cut one of the halves in half again. Oh gosh, I hope you guys get what I mean. I then took the longer half and folded the top side once and did straight stretch stitches. Next, I placed this against the bottom front piece of the dress. This is why I didn't sew it all the way down. I then pinned it down like so and proceeded to sew it in place with my favorite pattern stitch because it allows stretch and so the lace will stay spread out evenly. Next, I cut off the excess on the sides and stitched it to the textured piece to lock them together. I then did the exact thing with the two lace pieces we cut for the skirt's back piece. After this, I proceeded to stitch the dress down to the bottom. Next, I spread out the dress and counter-checked the bottom circumference to coincide with my measurements, and once content, I placed it aside and took the remaining textured cutting. Since I was incorporating the zero waste technique with this entire project, I had to make this work for the high-low circular trade I'd envisioned, so I folded it in half and prioritized the top section that would join the dress and the cut circle top to measure the dress's bottom circumference. I'm hoping that my explanation makes sense with the visuals. Next, I traced out the bottom section relying entirely on the allowance the fabric will give me and cut it out. Then I cut off about 2.5 inches on the shorter side to make the start of the short section a little longer and also to get rid of the torn corner section. Next, I took this to my machine and sewed the open ends together and did the overlock. I then pinned this around the bottom section of the dress with the right sides facing each other and stitched them in place, ensuring the shortest half is at the front and the progressive trail is at the back. I then hemmed the skater trail and put the gown aside. Next, I took the lining of the textured curtain and trimmed off the ragged ends, then cut it in 2 equal strips. Hemmed all the open side edges, then joined the two to make one long strip. I then made long running stitches by hand and spread it out evenly, then pinned this around the trail joint, ensuring it falls on the joint for a polished finish. I then stitched this in place, taking my time and not rushing it. Next, I trimmed off the split ends, and with this I was all done with the gown. I proceeded to take the 30-inch lace we placed aside and traced it on top of the remaining textured fabric and cut out an equal strip. I was literally down to the last fabric here, so this was such a win for me in this project, and I felt the thickness would be a bit too much for my preference, so I trimmed it to my liking. Then I proceeded to join these two pieces together all round. I then folded the sides once and stitched them down, then placed this strip aside. I took the remaining lace cutting and folded it in half, then trimmed off the irregular ends to make a seamless straight cut. Since I knew I couldn't achieve a circular trail with this fabric without compromising the bottom's stunning embroidery, I cut this piece at an angle starting at 3 inches from the bottom open corners, because this will be the shorter front and the middle would be slightly longer, enabling us to still have that trail effect. I'm hoping that made sense. I then took this to my machine and hemmed the open sides to give it a polished finish. Next, I did loose running stitches and did gathers. I then pressed the strip we created and marked the 2 points I wanted the trail to start and finish. I then tucked the lace inside the fold and pinned it in place, ensuring that the spread was even all through. Next, I proceeded to stitch this strip all round with my favorite pattern stitch. I marked where I wanted my 2 small buttons to go because they match the lace shade perfectly. I wish I had 3 buttons though, but I could only find 2 in my stash, so with that I was all done. Here's the final look, and even though this was one of the longest processes that required patience, seeing this final product was beyond worth it. Do let me know your thoughts on this, and if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much, and do tell if you'd wear this exact piece to your wedding if this was made to measure. I absolutely would. But then again, obviously I'm biased, so feel free to send in your questions as well. Anything to do with fashion design, business in fashion, and I will be happy to include them in the video that I plan to do. For now, I will stop here and wish you an amazing time wherever you are. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification button so that you can be notified whenever I put up a new post. Until the next one, bye loves!